You're about to listen to a Leaving Cert Lecture Days podcast on Macbeth. It's 3 minutes long, short revision, and we're looking at Banquo and Macbeth just after they've met the witches and Macbeth has been told he is thane of Cawdor. He reacts with shock. Banquo's character, and this little talk is about character. Banquo's character is wise and moral and deeply thought out, he says, and oftentimes to win us to our harms. The instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles, to betray us in deepest consequence. He knows darn well what these witches stand for. They're a trap. They're about bringing chaos to the kingdom of Scotland. Macbeth, I'm afraid, in this section of the play, reveals the depth of doubt, the depth of moral corruption in his character, even at this very early stage. He, remember, has been echoing the words foul and fair. Remember, the witches said, fair is foul and foul is fair. In other words, they wanted to confuse the difference between good and evil, which of course leads men astray and brings them to terrible ends. And we see that after Macbeth has been told he is thane of Cawdor, he says two truths are told as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. He has been drawn in to the very music, the chant of the witches, to regard their prologues as entries into the swelling act of the imperial theme. But of course Macbeth is an imaginative man, and he begins to realise what this imperial theme might be, because he realises the supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. Fair is foul, foul is fair. He says, if ill, why hath it given me earnest of success? So he's trying to buy moral time, commencing in a truth. I am thane of Cawdor. But then he realises that if these witches are any good, what the hell is going on? Why do I yield that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Because he realises that the use of nature is to destroy and murder his wife's uncle, Duncan, his kinsman, his king. And of course, remember, Macbeth is a hugely imaginative man. He registers things visually. Remember, he sees a dagger later on. Remember, he sees a ghost later on. Nobody else sees them. And so, poor Macbeth is this man whose character is flawed, who believes things that he wants to believe, because they may do him good. But he never makes the proper moral choice and leads himself to doom. And so he says, my thought whose murder is but fantastical. Remember, thought becomes murder in his mind. How quickly he abandons moral order, and his mind becomes the mind of a murderer as opposed to a heroic warrior. And so he shakes his single state of man, and function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not. And remember, at the end of this play, what happens? He has this terrible soliloquy, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, and it ends with, it is a tale told by an idiot, signifying nothing. And here he is at the start of the play, saying, nothing is but what is not. And he realises in some strange way that he is on the road to perdition, on the road to destruction. So, there you have it. A sense of Macbeth at this point in the play. I'll be visiting him later. Little talk, little revision. Have a think. Don't necessarily decide. Come back for the next one.